Welcome, it's denome. In this video, we're going to talk about the European Union because they want to pump Bitcoin. They want to create more euros, and whenever they create more euros, there will be inflation, and inflation just means that the value of euro will go down against hard assets like Bitcoin. So let's actually take a listen to what Ursula von der Leyen says about what Europe wants to do next. And by the way, forget this text here. This is highly political text. I don't agree with this statement here, but I saw the video and I had to like it just because what Ursula said here. So let's take a listen.
Security in Europe also means doing more on our own defense. Our common goal should be very clear. We need to turbocharge our defense industrial capacity in the next 5 years. And at the heart of this must be one simple principle. Europe must spend more, Europe must spend better, and Europe must spend European.
So Europe has to spend more, Europe has to spend better, and Europe has to spend European. That is at the heart of everything that Ursula is saying here. So spend, spend, spend. And the money, of course, they don't have the money, so they have to create the money. And a lot of people will probably see through this that for the average person, of course, Europe has to defend itself against Russia. I'm not disputing that statement or that fact. But for the average person, what it will mean is just more inflation. And when they go on a spending spree, that's of course when Bitcoin will be going up. So Europe wants to pump Bitcoin. That's their strategy to fight Russia. And of course, there's other things here that we could talk about. It's a little bit political, but I guess I just want to say it, and then I will talk about altcoins later on in this video. I do believe that altcoins will start to shine very, very soon. So I will talk about that very soon as well. But just on the political aspect, Ursula is saying here as well that they need to establish a defense union from the European Union, which is going against their founding principle. And when it becomes a defense union, she wants to appoint a defense commissioner for EU as well, which will basically just take more power away from individual countries and put more power into the hands of the EU. And for Ursula, I just want to say that of course it's a good idea to put money in defense, but there's going to be a lot of overhead on whatever they want to buy, just because a lot of European countries are part of NATO. And if you are part of NATO, you basically have to have your army according to NATO standards. And NATO standards mean that you have to spend money on weapons and ammunition from the defense contractors, which are basically aligned with NATO. And defense contractors, all of them are owned by BlackRock, or mostly owned by BlackRock. And what she says here is that they want to spend European. What it will mean is that they will create another entity so they can basically white label the weapons from those defense manufacturers, so they can put their own consulting fees and whatever political elite fees they want on top of it, so they can call it that these weapons are made in Europe. Eventually, a lot of the money will go to the defense contractors, to USA, and the weapons will just cost much, much more than they would if Europe wasn't part of NATO. But I'm not going to say NATO is bad or good. I'm just going to say that the weapons will cost more. That's all I'm going to say. So for the average person, it just means that inflation will be even higher. And for Ursula, I just want to say that these people are very, very corrupt. Like during COVID, Ursula von der Leyen, she actually approved Europe to buy 1.8 billion doses of COVID vaccines just for 2 years, from 2021 to 2023. Before it was even commonly accepted that you need more than 2 doses. So 1.8 billion doses for the 400 or 450 million European citizens just means that Ursula here already bought 5 COVID vaccines for every person in Europe. So 5 COVID vaccines, even though in 2021 it wasn't even clear that you need more than 2. So that's a little bit sus. And of course, what happened is Ursula's husband is Heiko von der Leyen, who is the medical director for a company called Orgenesis, which, take a look at this, specializes in cell and gene therapies, basically mRNA technology. And of course, Heiko, he had to resign from his position after they found out, like, hey, wait a minute, there's a major conflict of interest here. And nothing, of course, happened to the president of European Commission, Ursula. She still continues to do whatever she does. But I just want to point this out, that it's not the first time that she's just pulling money out of these European spending, let's say that, for her own gains. So I do suspect something similar will happen with the weapons and the ammunition that they will buy as well, and she will get filthy rich and her political affiliates will get filthy rich. But the average people, they will be losing money to inflation, and all in all, this just means more money printing, which means that Bitcoin will probably go up. And when we take a look at what ETFs are doing, ETFs are just buying Bitcoin again and again and again. So another all-time high for ETF holdings for Bitcoin, that's going up, which is great. Bitcoin went to $72,000 right now. That's also, of course, great. But I want to take a look at altcoins as well. So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart, which basically just tracks the full crypto market cap against Bitcoin market cap. So when this was at 0, it just meant that all of crypto was only Bitcoin. But then, of course, we had Ethereum, we had XRP, we had Cardano come in, and stablecoins and all these things. So the market cap of Bitcoin went down against the market cap of crypto. So whenever this chart is going down, it means that there's basically alt season. And for this bull run here, what we have seen is basically a break of structure. So this was the uptrend when Bitcoin went higher or faster up than altcoins. Right now we have been going sideways, which has meant that Bitcoin isn't moving faster than altcoins. But I do suspect that eventually this will go down, and that's when we will see the massive alt season or altcoin season. We haven't had that yet. So let's just take a look at when we overlay the price of Bitcoin on top of this chart here. So this was the 2017 run, and this was the 2021 run to the upside. So as you can see, at the start of this alt season here, Bitcoin was already on an uptrend. And then all the way to the top here, it was basically just alt season. And even after Bitcoin started to crash, altcoins still made new gains against Bitcoin. But on the last bull run, you can see that Bitcoin basically wasn't outperforming altcoins during this bear market or this sideways consolidation here. Altcoins were doing better, but then Bitcoin caught up until basically when Bitcoin broke the all-time highs here. And then even though Bitcoin still continued to climb upwards and made the 60K mark here, then after that basically altcoins had their alt season. So right now we haven't seen a major altcoin season yet, even though Bitcoin already broke the all-time highs. So what we could see is eventually Bitcoin will top out, and then we will see a massive altcoin season. But right now we're not seeing an altcoin season, so in my opinion it is coming, and that's one of the reasons why I do believe altcoins will be the better play than Bitcoin in the short term. In the long term, of course, Bitcoin will outperform most altcoins, but in the short term I do believe a lot of altcoins will outperform Bitcoin. So what you probably want to do is you want to take a look at altcoins against Bitcoin. For example, Ethereum against Bitcoin chart. Let me take this overlay out. What we are seeing is basically this chart here, and eventually this will break to the upside or this will break to the downside. And this is the price of Ethereum measured against the price of Bitcoin. And I do believe this is gonna break to the upside. So when we just take a look at the RSI, for example, you can see the RSI already broke through this structure, but we haven't broken through this the price structure here. So it just looks to me that Ethereum will be outperforming Bitcoin in the very short term, but this could break to the downside as well. So I wouldn't put all of my money into altcoins, but Ethereum looks very, very good. There's the talks about Ethereum ETF coming, and of course Ethereum scaling is coming as well. There's gonna be one scaling update coming this Wednesday, and I'm not seeing any hype around the update either. So all in all, it just looks to me that altcoins will have their time to shine. So if you are hesitating, like, wait a minute, why aren't altcoins doing so good? Should I sell my altcoins for Bitcoin because Bitcoin has been outperforming altcoins? I just want to basically I'm just gonna tell you that take a step back, and just calm down, and eventually altcoins will probably outperform Bitcoin in the short term, and then it's of course time for Bitcoin to outperform altcoins again. So anyway, that's it basically for this video. Sorry for taking it so political. I do support Europe arming against Europe, but what it just means is more spending and more money printing. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.